Hello, hi, this is Christine Crowell here. How is everyone doing today? Happy blessed Saturday to you all. And wow, we are on day 13, and this is the book club. Today I'm going to be talking about some books here that I've got here next to me, the books that I have read and that I want to recommend to CEOs, you entrepreneurs. I hope everyone is doing well and you're enjoying your weekend. For example, I'm here today to talk to you about the books that I read and go through on a regular basis. And if you don't know me, I am Christine Crowell and I am the founder of this channel, and I help healthcare providers to run a healthcare business, for example, or maybe they're just starting out themselves. Okay, so I wanted to just explain that as well. I also help businesses, not just healthcare businesses. I help businesses with marketing, as well as with contracts, as well as with coaching, etc. And we're doing the 30-day challenge and we're on day 13. And for me, it's important to talk about these things that a CEO needs to be aware of, because in order to run a business successfully, you've got to get your mindset right and be in that right environment, really, for your business to flourish and grow. You're not going to plant seeds where there's weeds. You're going to clear the weeds, aren't you? You're going to make sure that the soil is right before you start planting the seeds for things to grow healthily, for example. Otherwise they get strangled. So I just wanted to mention that. So I hope everyone's doing well. I'm super excited to have you on here, and I wanted to go through the books that I read in my my CEO challenge. Every weekend I read a book, and when I say I read a book, I read the whole book over the weekend, and that's my choice to do that because I've got that time that I can focus and concentrate on my mindset and getting strong, ready for the week ahead, for example, to serve my clients, so that I'm not working in a disorganized way. I'm working in an organized way. So I'm not working on emotions. I'm working with proper leadership and mindset so that I'm able to be the best version of myself, and at the same time that I'm building and growing and developing myself, because there will be challenges, and that's fine. I accept those challenges because I know it's going to help me to grow. I don't see them as a awful thing. I see it as something which I will grow from. And that's the reason as well why I read these books, because they do help me when I am going through difficult times, as well as my meditation and praying, for example. So I do a combination of walking, exercise, meditation, reading books, also journaling, quiet time where I'm thinking by myself and listening to my inner voice talking to me. Because sometimes we're so busy that we're just running around like a headless chicken, and we're doing things that we shouldn't be doing. We're doing things because why? What is the reason why you're doing it? And is it something that you really truly are aligned with? Because one thing for sure, I never follow money. I follow my heart. And it has to be something which comes from the heart. And I love to serve my clients as well. And yes, I've had challenges, because I don't think any business leader doesn't have challenges. That is life, and I embrace those challenges. And this is the reason why I've created the CEO Challenge, the 30-day CEO Challenge, so that we can grow and develop together, because we will face obstacles, we will face challenges, and it is how we cope with those challenges rather than run away from those challenges. So many years ago, I ran away from my challenges in my business, instead of facing it, because I didn't realize that when you climb one mountain, you think you're there, you're at the top, right? And you think, yeah, I've made it. But then you don't realize that there's another mountain that you have to climb. Because when you get to the top of that mountain, you will see that there's multiple mountains. And you have to excuse me because I've got a bit of a throat here. And we see multiple mountains. When we get to the top, there's another mountain to climb, which is higher. And you'll get to that top of the mountain, and then there'll be another mountain to climb. But you have to make sure that it's something that you really want to do and that you're passionate about. When I started my agency many, many years ago, I took on anything that came to me through the government. I had a very large government contracts, for example, and I just took things on. I never said no. And then it got to the point where it was like, well, actually, you've got all these hours, but we're going to cut the price down by half. And any business knows that when you've got your money and it's been cut down by half, that's a big discrepancy for your business. So the reason as well why I'm talking about this CEO challenge is that you will face challenges. Now, what I should have done back then was made sure that I had plenty of private clients to take on, as well as not have so many office staff in my building, for example. I should have hired personal assistants, that could do the job, for example. And I'm not talking about for marketing, I'm talking about for rotas and things like that. Because it would have saved me a lot of money when the crisis hit. If I did that, and this is the reason why I've created the virtual assistant agency, because my twin brother said to me last year, I've been using virtual assistants since 2017 and personal assistants. And my twin brother said to me, Christine, you're having to train them from scratch. Literally, I was training from scratch, from the ground up, for example. Everyone had their tasks to do. Not everyone did the same task. Everyone had different tasks that they were doing, for example. And I had to train them from zero. And it takes time when you're training people. And this is why the virtual assistance agency that I have now, and I created this from last year, I've been building and growing it so that I could offer it to my clients in the healthcare sector, because I could see there was a need for this, a very strong need. So I planned it correctly, and I built up my database, which took me years to build. And what is important here is that having an additional product, additional service in any business is going to help you for when one side of that business is going down, literally going down, the income is going down. So what else do you have in its place, for example? And this is the reason why I've created the CEO challenge, for you to be able to think like a CEO and to not just focus on one income stream, to look at multiple income streams. So you've got a protection there, but also to think about hiring virtual assistants agency. And I say an agency, and the reason why I say this is because there's more accountability. You could have a virtual assistant who could just run off with your stuff. I've had it myself done, for example. So when you've got an agency, there's more accountability. The insurance is there. There's lots of the GDPR, the insurance is there. There's lots of protection for you, for if something goes wrong. Now, when I was using a virtual assistant agency, they had multiple VAs, for example. However, I had to train them from scratch, and the ones that I've trained them from scratch, and I've put my hard work, blood, sweat and tears into this. It's not easy to train someone from zero. And what I also want to say to you is that, you know, if I had the virtual assistants back then when I had my agency, and this is the reason why I'm saying this to you now, because we don't know what this, we don't know what this budget, if you're in the UK, you don't know what the budget is, what the effects of that budget is going to be for your organisation. Now, the Chancellor talked about that the national insurance, this is the UK I'm referring to, is going up to 15% in April 2025, for example. So really, you've got to start planning and looking in your office to see who do you have. Do you really need that person, first of all? Do you really need that person? Are they bringing in money for your company, for example? Okay. Are they doing the work? I've had it where I've had VAs, they're not doing the work. And you're constantly checking up. And then they don't like it because you're checking up on them and then they leave. And that's great. That's wonderful. Or you get rid of them. That's the options as well. Or they do the work. Plain and simple. We're not here to mess around. We're not here to joke around. We're here. It's a business. So we need to make sure we're earning an income, for example. So going back to the Prime Minister and the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves mentioned in the budget 2024 October that the national insurance for the employers would go up by 15% in April, but if you have 4 staff members, then you don't have to pay anything. But not everyone can have 4 staff members. So I'm going to talk about some options that you can do. You can look at, and I'd love for you to book an appointment with me so I can go through what your outgoings are for your staff members in your office. I'm not talking about your frontline staff. If you are a care business, I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about for those that you've got in the office. Do you really need them? Because if you can save money, for example, and get a virtual assistant and use that money to save, you just keep saving that money month after month after month. And if a crisis was to hit your company, you've got the money there to pay for your taxes. You've got the money there to pay for any bills, some unexpected hits that you may be approached with, which is what happens in business. Everybody's faced it. Elon Musk has faced it. The big organizations, they've all faced it. It's normal. It's not abnormal to go through financial difficulty in a business, because every big business that's 8 figures have been through something in that way. Look at Facebook. There's lots of different things that we could talk about. Look at Google. So, but look at them today. They're doing really well. So, if you can save money in your business to either wait till the end of the year, then you've got, money that you can take, for example, once the accounts have been done, and then you still leave money in your account for the rainy days. Now, isn't that a better option than just keep living month to month to month to month to month? Every month you're starting at ground zero. And we need to start thinking like a CEO and building the business. So then when you save each month, you can then say, right, I'm going to do this service. I'm going to offer this service. and it's not going to drain you, your finances, because you've got that nest egg there ready. There's so much you can do. So, as I said, April next year, we don't really know what the cause and effects are going to be for next year. For example, for this UK budget, for example, that's just been said by the Council Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, as well as the Prime Minister. They did a really good talk the other day with the NHS staff. I'll put the link here as well in the description somewhere. It'll be on this page somewhere, and where the NHS staff was asking questions. Understandably, they've got questions, because the staff shortages is, in my eyes, is only going to increase. It's just going to increase, and that means more work for the staff members, healthcare workers. So we've got to start looking and planning for next year. What is it that we need to do now that's going to work ready for 3 months' time? So we're planning ahead, so we're ready and we're strong. And that's what I want for you, CEOs. I want you to grow. That's the thing. The reason why I do what I do is because I want to help you. It's the reason why I'm doing the 30-day challenge every day for 30 days, because I want to serve you. I want to help you. I don't want you to go through what I went through. And let's face it, no matter where you are in your business, you're always going to be faced with things happening in your business. No business is smooth sailing. None. If you think it is, you're going in the wrong, you're not believing the right things. Things do go wrong. But it's how you deal with it when it happens. Be prepared. Create a crisis plan. Don't worry, I'll be going through that with you, about the crisis plan. I will be going through that with you so that you are prepared. Because I don't want you to face what I faced many years ago. And like I said, every business, every 2, 3 years, 4 years, you get hit with things. It's normal, it's natural. It really is. So, today I want to talk to you about the books that CEOs, that entrepreneurs read, for example. And these are some of the books that I read as well. And I've started reading them this year. And I think it's important that we do this because we're the only ones that can push ourselves. Yes, we can get coaches in. Like I'm a coach, for example, mentor. You can get coaches in to help you. But you've got to push yourself. Your coach can only do so much. They can talk to you, but you've got to implement. Otherwise, you're weakening yourself and you won't be able to cope. Then you will retreat. When there is a challenge, we have to learn to overcome it. It's like people that do horse riding, for example. They get on the horse and sometimes they're frightened, aren't they? When they get on the horse, it's scary. This horse could be out of control. I always remember when I got on a horse the first time, many years ago. Got on the horse and the horse ran off in the field with me, But, we managed to calm the horse down. But imagine that I could have fallen off of that horse. And I could have said, right, I'm not going back there again. Just drink my water. I could have said, I'm not horse riding ever again. Horses can be scary. But I saw it as a challenge. And I went every weekend with my friend. She liked horse riding, so I went with her. And some people, they fall off the horse, don't they? And guess what? They don't say, I'm not going on that horse ever again. They get back on it. They fall again sometimes. What do? They get up and they get back on the horse. You know, some horses, when you're training them, when you first get a horse and it's trying to get used to you, because they've got personalities. And their personality, you've got to understand their personality. And sometimes they don't like you because your personality is not, they don't like your personality. So you've got to get to know that horse and understand their personality and know what they like in order for you to be able to ride that horse. And your business really is the same. You will sometimes fall off, but you stand up and you get back up again, and you get back in and you work on your business, and you think, right, what happened there? Why did I fall off? Oh, I see, it was because of this. So then you will then know, it's like you're getting to know your business as the time goes on, as you're practicing, as you're working with your business, you get to understand the personality of the business, because you are the one that's created the DNA of what you want from that business. So you put all of this information of what you want in your business, and then you've then got to work through the things that you've said that you wanted to do for your business. And then sometimes it's not going to work out. So what do? You try a different way, or you pivot. Maybe you come into a obstacle. You can either jump over it, or you can go around it, or maybe you could go back, for example, but you don't give up because you want your business to succeed. So your business is your DNA, it's your personality. It's a personality by itself, and sometimes it can rule you, not the other way around. You know, you want to be able to have that control with your business, but you've got to treat it right, and it will work well for you. And yes, sometimes it's going to be like the horse, where it throws you off, you know, and then you're like, whoa, what happened there? And then you get back on the horse again, you start riding, you know, and you're doing well. That's how I see business, you know. And you're going to face storms, you know, where it's raining, snowing, you know, you've got to shovel the snow, for example. But you know that snow is going to melt, and it's not going to stop you from going into your building to run your business. So I just wanted to explain some scenarios here, and for you to be able to look at those scenarios. And I want you to be realistic, because a lot of people, they think, oh, I want to make 7 figures. And you know, like with me, when I was 15 years old, I remember to this day holding my dad's hand, and I said, Dad, I said, I'm going to be a millionaire. And he said, that's nice, my darling. And he said, when is that going to be? I said, I'll be a millionaire by the age of 35. And I made 7 figures when I was 38. The race was on when I was 35. I was like, whoa, you know, I said I was going to be a millionaire by 35. I'm 35. It hasn't happened. But yeah, I started the business, the agency back then, and I did 7 figures by the age of 38. $1.4 million, for example. But I also lost it because I was just paying out all the time. And this is what I was saying, when you've got too many staff in the office, this is what we tend to do. We've got all these staff members in the office, and do we really need them? Because some of them are actually supporting others. You got staff members that aren't doing the work, but yet the others are supporting them, but they're not telling you. So this is where you look and you evaluate and you do your supervisions, but you got to have your awareness about you. But like I said, if you're paying out for office staff, it adds up the same as having the carers or the nurses in the field who's producing money for your company. And they're the ones that deserve the pay rise, because they're the ones going out, grafting and doing the work for you. And they will be so much more happier if they had an extra, £1, £1.50, $1.50, $2 an hour extra. They'd be so happy. In America, there's all these, we've got the elections at the moment in America, but I'm not going to go into that. But there's things happening, and we've got to prepare for this. The only thing we can control is ourselves and what we do, what actions we take right now that's going to create that beautiful future for you. You got to step into your genius zone right now so that you can take control of what you can control, which is your business, and see and evaluate what's happening in your business. What your staff members doing? How are they performing? Look closely. And I'm saying that to you to be aware of it, because you will have staff members that aren't doing their work, but yet they want to claim the same as if they are, same as what the others are doing. So I hope that was helpful to you. So today is week 2. We're just about to go into week 2 actually. So we are on day 13, for example, and this is the CEO challenge. And this is the reading list for week 2. Last week I gave a reading list, and this week I'm going to give you another reading list. And I'm going to put the link here for you to get the books if you want to on Amazon. For example, I am an affiliate, so I do get paid a small amount, for example, for if you was to purchase a book. And I'm going to go through each book one by one and what it meant to me, just briefly, for example. So the first one is called Overloaded by Ginny Smith. Really good book this is. I learnt so much about myself. I really did. And this is about understanding the science of stress, how the brain responds to being overloaded, because sometimes we get overloaded, don't we? And it also gives practical strategies to manage it effectively. So why should you read it? So CEOs and leaders that are facing, whenever you're facing a high stress environment, this book offers you insights into handling mental overload and staying productive. Really, really good. So I would highly recommend this. And it also helps you understand yourself, your friends, your family, even your children, your work colleagues, your candidates that you're interviewing, your staff members. It really does, it's so good, it really is. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, which is one of my favorites, is called Finding Me by Viola Davis. This is so powerful. It really is. Amazing woman. If you got the chance, get this book, but also watch Woman King. It's on Netflix. Watch Woman King. It's really good. It is a powerful, powerful memoir that she shares her journey, Viola Davis, through adversity and self-discovery. See, when I was at school in the UK, I always felt inferior. I really did. I felt different. I knew I was different anyway because of the colour of my skin, but I did feel a bit different. Even though I was strong and positive and wonderful, wonderful family, my brothers and sisters, we were all there for each other, but I did feel different. I could see the difference. And this book really took me back in time. And it's nice to visit your inner self, the different stages of your life, for example. And this Viola Davis one, it just brought, for me, it brought the 5-year-old and the 11-year-old out of me. It brought her back. But it's such a good book because it gave me closure as well. So do get it, like I said. It's an inspiring story. And it's about resilience, courage, and finding your authentic self. It really does give you qualities for you being the leader, and you also are able to stay grounded, because there's no way I'm not grounded. I stay grounded all the time. I don't work off of emotions. I would rather run the business thinking practically rather than running from emotions, for example. The next book, number 3, is Change Your Mind by R.J. Spinner. This is a good book. It focuses on techniques to access new levels of consciousness and transforms your life by changing your thought patterns. These books are kind of like changing me. You know, it's in me, don't get me wrong, but it's making me more focused as well. So, why should you read that book? The book will help you, the CEO, shift your mindset, overcome your limiting beliefs, and harness the power of mental clarity and awareness. It really does make you think about what is happening. But also, I think with reading these books, it gives me a sense of calm. And don't get me wrong, I read the Bible every day and I meditate every day as well. But also these books, I just love to read. And you can get them, you can get things that are, you know, Kindles and things like that. But I just love to hold a book in my hand and read from there. So that is the Change Your Mind book. And the next one is Embrace the Chaos. Now this, I did like this. I really did. Because this challenges your limits. Really does. Pushes you. And also it changes your habits as well. And it can transform your life. And this book, I really did understand it. It was 52 Tactics to Make Every Day Count. It's about navigating uncertainty, disruption, okay, and also learn to thrive amongst the chaos and change, because it's part of life. Before, I used to run away from it and think, oh, this is scary, I'm gonna run away from it. Now I run right into it, because I want to overcome that fear. Okay, so get that book, it really is good. So why should you read it? So as CEOs, we face a fast-paced environment. Everybody wants things instantly. But being a CEO isn't instant. You transform, you're always changing all the time. And you mold according to your environment, for example. When you need to be stronger, you'll be stronger. When you need to step back a bit, you step back a bit. When you need to observe, you observe. When you need to listen, you listen. When you need to open your mouth, you will open your mouth. And you'll be able to lead with confidence through some unpredictable situations. You're going to have unpredictable situations. These books, they all say it. They're all 8-figure businesses, and they're all saying that it's unpredictable. But it's how you cope and manage and learn and develop from that. So the next book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This is focusing on financial building wealth and the importance of mindset in achieving financial independence. So why should you read this book? It is a classic. Everybody hears that word, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And this provides you with valuable insights. As a CEO, you're looking to make sound financial decisions for yourself and your business. Now, I've started to read, because one of my weaknesses is finance, for example. So I'm reading more of finance, money psychology, for example, because we don't get to read about these things at school. So we have to read them for ourselves. And yet, you know, I've been to university and things like that, and there was part where we were learning certain things, but not like this. This is more readable, more understandable as well. So get that book. And the next one is one of my old favorites, and I've been reading this, and my first husband of 28 years who's passed away, for example, in 2017. We loved Stephen Covey. We read all of the books, and this is an amazing book. And it is called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And the focus here is fundamental principles for personal and professional effectiveness. It also helps you in the house as well, at home with your children. He's got so many different series that really helps you as well. So this is a really good book, like I said, and the book is about building effective habits, achieving success through integrity, purpose, and prioritization. Listen, when you're in business, you've got to have integrity. You've got to be honest and truthful. Because if you can't have that integrity, then what type of business are you running? You're running a business on lies, basically. And that's not good, because it will come back, for example. So that's a good book. And the next one is called How Leaders Learn. And this is by David Novak. And this is a very good book as well. and it is about practical lessons from successful CEO on how to cultivate a culture of learning and growth within your organization. So why read? This will provide the CEO, you, and you will be learning continuously, both for yourself and also for your team, to drive sustained growth and innovation. You want a team that wants to help you grow because they want to grow. Yeah, they're not doing it just so that you're growing. They're doing it because they also want to grow. But you need to make sure that your team members are aligned with the company's vision and that they want to grow and develop as well, for example. Because otherwise there's no point. If the person doesn't want to grow in your company, then why would you have them working for you? Because as you grow, that means they're going to be left behind and that they don't want to grow your company, for example, because that means they're going to have to do more thinking, more development, for example, more training, for example. So, just think about that. So, because you're in business to grow. There's no other way of saying it. You want to grow, you want to leave a legacy, you want it to be automated as possible, much as possible, for example. So those are powerful books that I mentioned, but I'll also give you a guideline here. Don't read this like every weekend like how I've been doing. Think, okay, I'm going to read this over a 6-month period. So in month 1 to 2, read Overload. Okay, like I said, it will help you with stress, understand how your brain processes overload, for example, and explore strategies that you can help to manage it. It will give you some action steps as well. So month 3 to 4, Finding Me, Viola Davis. Take time to explore your resilience and self-identity through Viola Davis's inspiration, her story, which is amazing. Reflect on challenges that you've faced as a leader and consider how the experience will shape your leadership style. Write your own story of overcoming adversity. I've got a book that I journal in. It's huge. It's A5. It's on my desk right now, but I'm not going to pick it up and show you, but I think you've seen it in my previous videos here, but I can also put a link for you to get the journal as well. Month 5 and 6, Change Your Mind by R.J. Spinner. Focus. You want to use this period to explore mindfulness and mindset shifts that enable you to transform personally but also on a professional level. So you can read them daily, for example, whilst you're doing your meditation practice. Okay, document any shifts that you found and reflect on how these practices impact your decision making and clarity as well. Month 7 to 8, Embrace the Chaos by Jason Fox. Focus on the strategies by thriving in uncertainty and leading confidently through change. Action steps, you want to write down the biggest uncertainties that you face in your business and create an action plan for embracing them. And consider how you'll encourage your resilience inside of you and also the adaptability in your team. Sometimes you've got to look at your business. Is there a busy period? Is there a quiet period? So you may need to let people go as you're going through those seasonal months, for example. Month 9 to 10, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. You want to spend time improving your financial literacy with a focus on building wealth and making smart financial decisions. Action steps is identify specific ways you can apply the Kiyosaki's financial principles in your business. You want to set financial goals and strategies to next year and consider new revenue streams. Don't leave yourself with one revenue stream, because you will leave yourself open, especially if you get hit with a challenge. You could have a competitor come in and just undercut and take your hours from you, for example. So what would you do in that situation? If you had a care contract, you had care contracts, what if a competitor or someone you know was to approach your clients and undercut you and put their staff in? What would you do if you are a recruitment care agency and you have a care agency and you've got staff going into a care home and you've got someone who knows what prices you're charging and they've gone behind your back and stolen those clients from you and offered a cheaper price? What would you do at that time? How would you feel? Sure, you wouldn't feel good, would you? So it could happen. I'm just saying this. So brace yourself. Think about what else can you do if that was to happen to you, if that scenario was to happen. Because you've got to look at the worst case scenario, and then you've got to then make a plan, a crisis plan of what you would do. And let's pray that that doesn't happen, for example. Okay? So, bonus month is how leaders learn, for example. So this is something that you could read in between. You're reading one of the other books, read this as well. If you've built up, then you should be okay to do that, for example. This will help you to gain insights into continuous learning and growth within your organization. Some of the action steps you can take is, after reading, you want to design a learning plan for yourself and your team. Identify one skill area that you want to master each month and consider implementing team initiatives as well. So that is the list of books that I've mentioned, and today is it's a book day. CEOs, get a journal so that you're able to capture the key things that you want to discuss in your journal. So as you've read your book, then you'll be writing a list of things that you would do, for example, in your journal. So look, this is my journal. Look how big it is. It's bigger than my face, isn't it? So this is A5, for example. I will put a link here. If you want to get it on Amazon, you can do, or just go to your bookstore or stationery store and get them, because it's part of things that you need to help you in your business, for example. So, like I said, some tips for maximizing your impact. Get a journal daily. Apply the lessons at a time. Focus on one single concept, and then you want to implement it, and then get deeper understanding, and then some accountability needs to be done as well. So thank you so much for being here today. And the book club, this is the day 13 of the book club. And like I said, today's purpose was for me to just go through with you to take a step back, recharge, immerse yourself in powerful, thoughtful, provoking reading. And this book club day is about broadening your perspective, your horizon, gaining fresh insights and engaging with the ideas. And this will really sharpen your leadership skills by learning from experiences and strategies of others. You'll get to hear from the 8-figure business owners. And it really does open up your mind to things. It also gives you a sense of peace and calmness as well amongst all the uncertainty that's going around at the moment. So these books, they do matter because they're unique, and you can also get new ideas with these proven frameworks from some of the best minds in business in the world, psychology and personal growth. They will help the CEO break out of your daily routines and inspire creativity and provide you with actionable advice to evaluate both personal and on a professional level. So your activities, if you can get some books so that you've got your books then for the 12-month, for example, do some reading, reflect, spend at least 30 to 60 minutes a day reading and absorb the ideas as well. Share your insights here, comment here, let us know how you've got on. In terms of setting yourself a personal development goal, identify one personal development goal or leadership goal that will inspire you. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's discussion. This is your CEO 30-day challenge here, and today was about what books you can read. This is the CEO book day, and I hope that you've enjoyed today. So I also want to know what resonated with you about what I discussed today, the readings. Have you read any of these books? How did you find them? What immediate action can you do? So are you going to look at creating an action plan? And from today's insights, for example, maybe you want to look at the long-term integration. So if you need to book a free 15-minute with me so that I can talk to you further, you want to work with me, then do book a link. So use the link here and book a free 15-minute appointment with me. It'll probably be 30 minutes so that we can talk about your strategies for 2025, because I want you to be prepared. I want you to really focus on creating a money saving aspect in your business so that when you are hit with anything, you can cope. You're not left stranded. Okay, so I hope that you've learned from today. Let me know in the comments that you found it useful. Do like and subscribe to the channel, because this is going to help the algorithms so they can show it to more people, for example, and to you. You'll get notification as well for when I'm doing my training. I hope that you've enjoyed today and enjoyed the book club day. Thank you so much, and I will be speaking with you tomorrow. Take care, directors. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Thank you.